This is like the beginning of the Real Housewives seasons when it shows the end and then it flashes and it's like 18 hours earlier. How did we end up here?
Welcome to Pai, Thailand, Thailand's most northern town. So northern that it used to be frost, but now it's condensation in the morning. But
Frosty, chilly morning.
yeah, we are in long sleeves, still shorts because we still are Canadian. It's about 17 degrees and like quite foggy, and lots of the locals are in toques and winter jackets. So a big change from like the 30 plus we've been experiencing the last 6 months.
Oh, our boy is greeting the cars.
Yeah, he's such a good...
He's such an icon. We love him.
So today we have a fun plan of like the big thing kind of to do in Pai is, I think there's 3 branches of government here in Pai. Partying, the yoga hippie side, and then scootering around to beautiful nature.
Adventures.
So we are going to do the scootering around to beautiful nature today. So we're starting off with a hot spring. So I think it's going to be fun.
Let's get on the scoot. It's been a minute. Oh, these are not ours. It's been a minute since we've been on a scooter, so I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Missing Chris and V because we always used to scoot with them together. But
yeah, we were messaging them this morning.
So, still excited.
Yeah, it's still gonna be a fun scooter. The dog has come back to greet everyone. He goes, "Hey guys, welcome to my house."
All right, let's go.
So hopefully it'll be fun. Bubba's got his scooter. We're ready to go. You know, we've arrived at the hot springs when the water is steaming.
Steam, baby. I'm ready for a bath. Honestly, that scooter ride was freezing, so I am ready for a real bath. I need this hot spring right now. This is like Bear Grylls survival up in here. I thought we were escaping winter. Now it's -8 on the scooter. No, it's more like 15. But like it was cold on my hands. It was cold on my hands. I'm not used to this after my Southeast Asian lifestyle.
Yeah, we've become soft. But we are one of the few people in shorts.
And I hung out with Europeans too long, so now I think the 20 degrees is freezing.
Yeah, but we are one of the few in shorts. Most of the locals are in toques and jackets. I don't know if we already said it. So here's the charge point.
I wonder if we have to pay here.
Yeah,
we
do.
Okay. All right, so we are at the Thai Pai hot springs, and I was just reading there's 2 different hot springs, 2 main ones. So we'll see which one that we hit first. And then the sign said something about how the second one keeps popping up. And I don't exactly know what that means on the sign, but it says it keeps popping up and can be very high temperatures. So I don't know if like the temperature keeps rising, so that one is off limits. We're gonna see once we get in there, but we're going to one of them. Okay, we're gonna start lower down there and then work our way up through all the poles. It's hot?
Yeah. It says beware hot water.
Should have read the sign. Ooh.
But it's like 32. I saw a sign right there. It says 33.
So they go up and up and up. Okay, let's do it. Is it hot?
It's warm, like a warm bath, but
Not boiling.
not cold.
Okay, sorry, there was some loud Dutch people. What were you saying before about the prices for people?
Yes, so it's 150 baht, convert to Canadian on the screen here, for tourists, and 30 baht for locals, adults. I think it was even cheaper for children. And on the reviews for this, a lot of like the Google reviews, kind of all the negative reviews kind of came down to the people were unhappy about that. But I was saying to John, like, I couldn't disagree more, and I actually think it's like an excellent example of sustainable tourism is it allows these places to be accessible for tourists. It honestly, probably having more money go towards it allows them to pay the workers who work here better, maintain the area better, but it still makes these places accessible to locals. We saw this in Bali a lot of like, you would go to these like amazing nature things and there would be no locals there, and then when you would talk to locals and they would say like, oh, I've never been there, it's too expensive. And I feel in Thailand you've kind of seen, and Malaysia was different as well, they often have these two prices. We were here a little bit earlier and it definitely switched over the time we were here, but when we got here it was mainly locals and us, and it was so fun and cool to see them playing in the hot springs, utilizing tons of kids and families, and that was just like a really nice experience. So I think it's actually such a positive thing to have that, and like 150 baht is like nothing for us, but it's a lot for like a Thai person, and 30 baht is more reasonable. It's like, it really is like equivalent. It's talking about equity, not
And I think
equal.
those things are super important when you look at traveling places, is taking those things into consideration, how much the locals make versus how much the average tourists make. That's how tourism can actually impact a place positively.
Yeah.
And it should be accessible to them. It's their natural resource. But there's a reason people want to come to it, and they should be able to share that at their benefit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a
and
great
I
example
think
of
we've talked
that.
a lot about this trip about like, where does tourism like kind of take away from the locals and where does it add? And this is an example of, I think it adds.
Yeah.
But also our top tip for this is come early. We got here at maybe 9:30, 10.
As early as possible.
I honestly want to come back in a few days at open 8 o'clock because it was super local, quiet. It honestly was more beautiful, and because it was cool, it was very refreshing to get in the hot springs. Where even now it's 11:30. Now it's like pretty much all local, or not all locals, all tourists, and it's getting a bit too hot to like really enjoy the springs.
Sorry to the people who are coming in right now.
Yeah. Like it. Oh, are you okay?
I almost died.
Oh.
We stopped by this banh mi place, and it is as big as our head.
Only 100 baht. It was a very good price.
I don't know how we're gonna eat this.
People really recommend it, and I'm happy we came and made it because it wasn't really even out. You caught me mid-bite. It is so good. It's so big. It's so crispy. Lots of cilantro, which I love. Garlic, chili mayo. This is a 10 out of 10 to me. One of my favorite things I've had in Thailand. And it's Vietnamese. Very interesting. We are halfway through what feels like my Everest. I'm only halfway through, and I'm still, like, I'm getting full. I really miss Chris because he would finish all my meals that I didn't want to eat. I will say, people who don't like cilantro, missing out. It's the best bite in here when you get a bite of the chicken, the cucumber, the cilantro, the garlic salt. More cilantro, the better. If you know, you know.
Never before have I felt so conquered by a sandwich. Like, I'm literally a stuffed plucking chicken right now. I said cancel all of our plans. I need to go digest. I need to go relax and digest this meal. Instead, though, we're gonna take the scooter. We're gonna go to a waterfall next and explore more natural beauty here in Pai.
John did really good with the sandwich.
I almost finished the whole thing. I'm a stuffed plucking chucking right now. And
I'm like this. Jonathan's like, I need to take the afternoon off.
I just said, I was like, I need to cancel all my plans. It was amazing value for money. Now we're gonna go get more value out of Earth at the waterfall.
Let's ride.
Dun, 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 dun. Wow.
This is very unique.
This is super unique. Imagine if it was like a slide. I wish.
I mean, it kind of is. Give me that. One of the other things I've noticed here in Asia they do a lot is they water the concrete because in the middle of the day, because it gets really hot, which not only like is hot to step on or like put the bikes on and stuff like that, but also like that over time when the concrete gets too hot it like falls apart. I read this on ChatGPT because I asked, but you always just see them watering the concrete, which is like, I think it's just kind of a funny imagery, but I know there's a reason behind it, but you just always see them watering the parking lot.
I love
true,
that.
you do.
So there's a lower pool here, and then there's actually walkways that take you up either to the middle of the rock or all the way up to the top of the waterfall. Choose your own adventure waterfall.
Puts the bucket there, splashes the water so it's super wet, and down he goes. He makes it look very easy, but it's very scary. We came to this lookout point to watch sunset. The sun is starting to set, and look at all these people. So it's quite a nice vibe, actually.
The party is here.
Did I ever say what happened from the beginning?
No, you never have spoken about this live on camera.
I guess I gotta speak on it. So a few weeks ago, I guess I should just start a little backstory. This is gonna be all TMI. Too much info about me and my body function.
Your foot.
My foot is I've always gotten an ingrown toenail since I was a kid. One of my toes I had surgery on that like stopped me from ever getting an ingrown toenail again. That one has always been fun and fancy free. I really should just at one point go and get the other one done because but I don't know, the other foot never was as bad. But a few weeks ago I noticed I was getting an ingrown toenail. It was slightly infected, but we were in lots of salt water, which is good. So then it was kind of fine, kind of went away. The last couple of days, I was like, it's not looking so good because we haven't been in salt water. And I was like, but sometimes they just kind of goes away on its own. And this was kind of looking like it was like about to go away. And I was like, slay, don't need to go to the doctor. I very rarely go to the doctor for the ingrown. I really try to not let it get away on its own. Yeah, it has to get pretty bad for me to get it. Last night we went out. We had a really great night. It's going to flash a clip. It must be.
I know, I barely took any clips. That's how good of a night it was.
It was a really great night. It was our last like big party night of this year. So it was really fun.
Period.
But that being said, at one point I fell and I like jammed my toe. So I woke up this morning in extreme pain. Like the toe looked terrible. Insert some clips. And it hurt like hell. Like it was just throbbing. And if anyone who like, actually my parents would probably disagree with this, but Jonathan knows this. I have actually a really high pain tolerance and I don't like to go to the doctor if I don't have to. Like I have to be like pretty sick to go or like really kind of like I really need to go. And I said to John, I don't know, I think I might need to go to the doctor. And I was going to wait till Chiang Mai because it's just like a bigger city. So there's more. But I was like in so much pain, I couldn't wait. So I went to the doctor and she right away was like, that needs to be dealt with. And I was like, okay, great. My foot was so swollen. So she took us into this little back room. The doctor was like packed because she's the only doctor in Pai, except for like the big hospital. And she went in the back and literally removed my ingrown toenail, like cut it out and cleaned it out and everything. If you ever had an ingrown toenail, you know that when they cut it out, it actually does almost immediately feel better, but it is quite bloody and stuff like that. I've had this done a couple of times before, like both in Canada and in the Netherlands, where I had an infected ingrown toenail and they cut it out. Every other time they've used numbing stuff. Like they put a needle with like numbing agent in both Canada and the Netherlands. Here, nothing. Raw dog. And it definitely hurt at a few specific moments. I was like this. She's so brave.
She's a lion woman. It's my new rendition.
Oh, I like it. I was using my technique.
Through the pain.
I always say you can handle any sort of pain for a few deep breaths. So it's like, yeah, just did that. So that was a bit interesting. But overall, it looks much better. She was like, damn, this was really not in a good spot. And I was like, it was not. But now it's doing better. And then she gave me a bag full of stuff. It's interesting because here, when you go to the doctor, it's also like the pharmacy. And this happened to Jonathan too. Okay, so I got... Oh, and the other thing too with it is that it's... she does Chinese medicine as well, or like Eastern, and we've noticed that we've had to go to the doctor for like little things a few different times, and a lot of times they do like a combination of medicine. But anyway, so I got a probiotic because I also need to get I also had to get an antibiotic. So I think that's quite nice. In Canada, you have to go yourself and get a probiotic. Like, it's not necessarily the doctor gives it to you, a prescription. But as you guys know, antibiotics are really bad for your stomach. And my stomach is already, I think, destroyed. So this probiotic, I think, is going to be good. Antibiotics. Then also they give you an anti-inflammatory pills because it's quite swollen. And then the cool part, too, is they gave me a whole cleaning kit. So it's like there's cotton balls for cleaning, like, and bacterial stuff, more cotton balls, tape, the Q-tips to clean it out, all of it. Like, they give you everything you need to clean it. Where, again, in Canada and the Netherlands with this, you had to, like, go get your own stuff separate from the doctor, but the doctor gave you everything. I also love the labels are quite cool. And here we've noticed the medicine always stays in the packs. Opposed to like in Canada, like the pills always get counted out. They stay in the pack here, and it has this cool little label.
It's very clear of like what time of day to take it and how many times. I love that.
Yeah, and it was great. Honestly, like the language barrier was fine. She understood everything I was saying. I understood her. So.
And how much was it?
Okay, it was 64 Canadian dollars, 1,400 baht.
That's to see the.
She fell.
She fell. That's to see the doctor.
Yeah.
That's to get the medicine. That's to get the referral. That's to get everything, the pharmacy and everything.
Yeah, and
that's
all
incredible.
The supplies. So it's a good price. I should have got a receipt, so that I can.
Of course, with the medical insurance we forgot a receipt, but it's okay.
But maybe tomorrow we might swing by and just like see if we can get a receipt.
And that's this week on Grey's Anatomy with MacKenzie.
Yes, it was just so fascinating because I've had this done a few different times. So it was like interesting. I could really compare it to the experience, and it was same but different. Like some things were the same, some things were different. So yeah, there you go.
Get well soon. Good morning. It is. I thought that was a monkey. It was a little squirrel. I haven't seen as many monkeys up north, actually. That's a side fact. It's our last morning here in Pai. We actually were going to come back to the hot springs this morning, but even earlier, and come for a little, like, foggy morning dip. But because of MacKenzie's toe, she decided not to come. I decided to get up and try to head to the hot springs early. So I'm here now. It's just after opening, after 8 a.m. I'm going to head in, and it's a little bit chilly this morning. So the hot springs sound like exactly what I want and need. I wish MacKenzie could come, but I decided to come alone and just have a peaceful, meditative experience and do it one more time before we leave Pai. Tonight we're taking a bus at 5:30 to Chiang Mai, and we're meeting my mom tonight in Chiang Mai. I can't believe that she's arriving so soon. And there's a few other people, but not many right now. So let's go see. This morning, also, the locals in Pai that I've seen have been in like toques and full-on like puffer winter coats. Because it is a little bit chilly and cool this morning, but like I'm in shorts. It's a different perspective. I feel like it's shorts and long sleeve weather. They feel like it's down winter coat weather. was super, super nice. This park ranger, I don't know what they call them here, but one of the officers who works for the park came up to me while I was sitting at this like upper hot springs part. And this part you can't swim in because it is really hot. It's like almost boiling water. Hot enough to boil eggs. So lots of local Thai people come up here to boil eggs. And one of the officers came up to me and like asked if where I was from, asked if I spoke English. He said he really wanted to practice speaking English. And I was like, oh my God, you're doing amazing already. Like, you know, you started this conversation. You've got the first couple steps down. And then he pulled out and he's like, I have one more egg if you want to boil it. I think that we should boil it for you. So I boiled an egg in the hot spring, and he sort of showed me the sign of like, this is how much time you should do it for different egg hardnesses. And I was there with all the local people. I cooked an egg in the hot spring. I don't typically go for hard-boiled eggs. Of course, I didn't say that, but I'm gonna try it because, you know, it has a flavor to it, and we'll see how it tastes in comparison. But that was so cute. That was so nice. I feel like that's very representative of my experience with Thai people in general. They are very keep to themselves to a certain extent, but once there's a connection, they are instantly so friendly, instantly so willing to help. And that's happened to me a couple of times. We like had a problem starting our scooter and asked this Thai dad with 2 kids. He instantly was like, oh, okay, let me help you figure it out. Let me see. He tried to use his key. He tried to help us. He ended up helping us figure it out, of course. And this was just such a very sweet gesture to give me this egg. Thank you for this breakfast. All right, I'm gonna try my egg. I have to crack it. Let's see. It's not super warm anymore because I couldn't actually eat it in the springs, but I think it'll still be good. Wow. I hope there's a garbage nearby. I just thought of that. Oh no. Oh, there is a garbage. Okay, good. BRB, I'm gonna go put some of this into the garbage. I must admit, I feel a bit strange just eating an egg in the middle of the park here. Not the middle, I'm at the entrance, but I feel like people can see me. Anyways, let's try it. Oh, I stand by the fact I'm so sorry that boiled eggs are not really for me. This does have sort of like an underlying salty flavor though, more than a typical egg would, cooked from the mineral water, I must admit. It still is not like my most favorite thing, but it was really sweet of him to think of me and give it to me. And it was cool to try. I'm glad I tried it. Very natural. I just saw the park officer who gave me the egg again. He was so sweet. I said goodbye to him. And I actually learned from him today that it's actually busier at the hot springs than normal because it's a big holiday today in Thailand, today and tomorrow. I'll have to look up exactly what that is because I was trying to ask him what it is, but I don't think he knew the English words for it. And so there actually is a lot of people selling those eggs, I think because there's a lot of local Thai people coming today to boil them, to go in the hot springs, to experience all that this place has to offer, which is really cool. There was definitely like more people than when we went last time, even though I came earlier today. But there was probably more local people today mixed in with the tourists. There was just like small little groups of tourists, and the rest were all local people, which makes sense with this whole holiday thing. So it was super nice, super relaxing. Our last meal in Pai. We've been here and we're coming back, so we know this is Hail Decker. Oh, we're gonna have lunch. This is kind of like lunch. We're gonna have dinner. Okay, scrap that. Second last meal. We made it to this beautiful viewpoint, although the drive up here was maybe even more stunning. And kind of sad to see there is a lot of garbage everywhere, but if you just look up here, you can avoid it. So the Memorial Bridge is actually a memorial to a bridge that was constructed during World War II. At the end of the war, it was burned down, and they had created log boats out of logs with holes in them to continue being able to transport things across. But after a certain point, it was resurrected as a bridge.
A memorial to like the kind of forced labor that
That
the
was-
Pai people had to
That created the first
endure
one.
under the Japanese rule that created the first one.
We got stuck in a pie hole, didn't it? We got stuck in a pie hole, didn't we? We got stuck in for a couple of days. The vibes were vibing, the birds were birding. Pie, views, and birds. Scootering around pie.
I only followed my scooter 4 times.
I got a bit of a road burn and I got a tattoo. Oh, never got an Australian tattoo.